Now, if I had the opportunity to show you what it was like to go to a website with and actually succeed in doing it, you would have realized the importance of having Flash. Now, there's all kinds of websites all over the world that needs Flash. This particular website is one of my favorites, Barbie.com, and you can see it says, "Hey girl, get Flash." I mean, that's about as clear as it gets. But it's not just Barbie. I mean, it's NBA.com, some of the most important brands in the world. Disney.com. Here's one. PBSKids.com. I mean, how sad is it for your kid to show up at one of these websites and for you to have to explain what Flash is to a 6-year-old? I mean, that alone is reason to make sure that your device has Flash in it. And then here's one. This is Google's website. I think they have a little traffic. Google's website also, if you wanted to enjoy it in its full glory, you need to have Flash. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Flash compatibility is one of the most important things in enjoying the web the way it was meant to be enjoyed. And so, what about performance, though? Compatibility is one thing, but performance is also important. And this is one of the areas where we put an enormous amount of energy working with the engineers at Adobe, putting our two teams together so that we could design a web Flash player, a mobile Flash player that allows us to get the benefits of the GPU that's inside our chip. And so that we could, on the one hand, enhance the performance, but on the other hand, because it's done so efficiently, reduce the power that is used while you're enjoying the website. And so why don't we bring up a couple of examples for you. This is a Flash game. You know, you saw Flash video, Flash advertisements, but this is Flash games. This particular game is on a desktop, full-out website, and we're playing this website from 2 mobile devices. On the right-hand side is a Tegra 2 Flash accelerated processor, and on the left-hand side is some poor guy he's trying to play it in slow motion, which may very well be easier. So you have. You see the benefits of a GPU accelerated Flash engine, and this is completely a result, despite what some people say is an impossible task. When you put great engineers together, this is what you're able to achieve. Let's put our hands together for the engineers at Adobe and NVIDIA, please. Thank you. So now you have a processor and a platform that allows you to have full Flash compatibility, as well as the experience that you would expect while you're on a desktop, while you're on a laptop computer. Adobe, as you know, is one of the most important technology companies in the world. You benefit all the time from their creation and their contribution to the industry. From content that's created, to content that's published, to content that's enjoyed by all of us, Adobe is somewhere in that ecosystem. And largely in that ecosystem. Because of their work, we've been able to enjoy digital content on all these different devices that we're enjoying in today. As the world moves towards mobile computing, and the primary use case is going to be content consumption, the work that Adobe does is going to become increasingly important. And this is one of the reasons why our partnership with Adobe over the years has become so important. We've worked with Adobe in the area of digital content creation for workstations, for digital artists. I mean, if you create videos, if you enjoy working with photographs, the workstations that you're using likely has an NVIDIA GPU inside, and very likely has Adobe's technology inside. To help us talk a little bit more about Adobe and their vision and the pervasiveness of their work over the years, let's introduce someone who's a very, very special guest and a good friend of mine, Shantanu Narayan, CEO. Shantanu, first of all, congratulations. I want to thank you and your engineers for the great work that you did, and as a result of that, mobile users all over the world are going to be able to go to any website they like and enjoy a very good web experience as a result of our work together. I want to thank you for that.
No, it's really, we should be thanking you, Jensen, because it is all about consumption. And to be able to create these great interactive experiences and then have people experience it in a mobile way and in a multi-screen way, I think that's what the power of the two companies working together can unleash. Congratulations on all your announcements. I mean, I was waiting for the announcement for if your Tegra 2 chip can leap buildings, and they're in cars, now do you have cars that can leap buildings as well? I mean,
we're working on that. We're working on that.
But I also do want to acknowledge what you said earlier, which is, I think the companies have worked really well together first on unleashing all the developer and creative authoring perspective. And so the work we did with you to put in our premier products, the Mercury engine based on CUDA, it now allows everybody to create all of that immersive content, and now it's all about enabling people to experience it in a mobile way.
Everybody knows that Flash is important, but I think that people don't completely internalize the expansiveness of Flash consumption. Can you give us, give the audience a sense of how pervasive Flash is, and maybe some statistics on how important Flash is?
Sure. I mean, the impact that Adobe has had. I mean, can you pick up a newspaper, a magazine in the world, a graphic, a website, or video which hasn't been touched by some piece of Adobe software? But to speak specifically about, Flash, after we introduced Flash 10.1, it's actually had the fastest adoption we've ever had for any Flash player. Take video, for example, because Flash, the reality is Flash is used for video. It's used for advertising, as you talked about. It's used for casual gaming on the web. It's used to create enterprise applications. In video alone, the amount of Flash video that's been streamed over the internet has actually doubled over the past 2 years. And to put a number on it, just last month, I think there's something like 120 petabytes of video that's streamed. That's 128 billion megabytes of Flash video. And so, there is a ton of content that everybody's creating out there using our tools and using our formats.
That's really amazing. And so if you were to, obviously one of the questions that people have, Flash is now nearly in every single website. Whenever we enjoy graphics or video on the web, it's likely related to Flash. But everybody asks about, what is the relationship between Flash going forward and HTML5 going forward? How do you think through that, and how should we think through that?
It's really a non-issue. It's all about the creative community and the developer community, and what are they trying to create? And they're trying to create these compelling digital experiences. We've talked a lot about gaming here today, we've talked about video, but even enterprise applications. I mean, the reality is enterprise applications are going to completely be transformed with the kind of functionality that you have. And so we're going to produce the best tools. If people want to do that in HTML, that's great. If they want to do that in Flash, that's great. But you have to really look at the use case. And Adobe is all about, if people want to create a particular kind of experience, if the standard doesn't exist, we'll invent it, because we want to do the creation, we want to do the distribution, and we want to do the delivery.
And over the next decade, surely maybe even longer than that, the fact of the matter is these websites, hundreds of millions of websites, and now applications all over the place, some are going to use Flash and some will slowly adopt HTML5, but the fact of the matter is what we should do as device manufacturers and device makers and platform creators, we should make sure that our devices are able to enjoy either format going forward. And your tools are going to make sure that the best content will be enjoyed on top of those platforms.
That's absolutely right. And we're, in fact, Air, when you look at the Air technology that's used for digital publishing, for example, whether it's Wired Magazine or National Geographic, it actually uses a combination of Flash and HTML. And Adobe is also actually contributing to WebKit and to web standards, because it's in our best interest to make sure that these kinds of experiences are available for consumers around the world.
Yeah,
we love the partnership with you.
Yeah, most of the people barely realize that when they look at the magazines today and they flip through it in a digital way, and first of all, they're delighted because they can carry with them all of their magazines in one particular tablet device. But very few of them really realize the potential of technology, a platform like Air and Flash, on a digital magazine. All of a sudden it comes alive. And some of the stuff that you've shown me, and maybe we'll save that for another day, some of the stuff that you show me on Air is just absolutely amazing. It is making things digital isn't the point. Making things interactive is the point. Making it enjoyable is the point. And Air will do that for digital magazines.
I agree, Jensen, and I think you said something profound at the beginning, which is, it is all about this CES being the next phase of mobile and multi-screen computing. And I think it's going to be exciting for consumers, and it's going to be exciting for content creators.
That's terrific. Shantanu, thank you very much for your partnership. You guys did a great job.
Thank you, Jensen.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
And so now you've seen the device, snappy device, really interactive device with Tegra 2, the Flash enables us to have a great experience on the web. But we also think that you want to enjoy all kinds of other content. Video, photographs are fabulous as well. But what about games? The early generation of games that we saw on these mobile devices were simple, the details were rather crude. We think that the experience ought to be far, far better than that. And as we have more processing capability, more storage, and more bandwidth coming our way, one of the experiences that is lacking is console quality games. And to help us talk more about that, I would like to introduce a really cool developer called Trendy. They created this really amazing game called Dungeon Defender. And to help us talk about that, I'd like to welcome Jeremy Steiglitz. Let's see, where is he? There he is. Jeremy, like all game developers, are about 16, and but they're captains of industry, and because of your work, we're able to enjoy great games everywhere. Jeremy, so you're going to show us this new, really cool game, and this really cool game is it's a multi-platform game, it's a multiplayer game. But tell us quickly about Dungeon Defender and what it's about.
Sure. Dungeon Defenders is an online role-playing action RPG. You kind of log in, you choose a hero class, and you slay monsters to get loot and experience. And you also use some strategy. You can place down defenses. So your goal is to work as a team to survive waves of all kinds of crazy monsters in a fantasy medieval environment.
Mm-hmm. And if you were... Oh, okay, I was trying to figure out what does that sound?
That's the game.
Yeah, it's the game. And so if you were to this particular game plays, and we're looking at currently somebody playing on a PC, and so obviously the game itself and the game engine itself requires a very high performance platform.
It does indeed. It is an Unreal Engine 3 title. For those in the game industry, Unreal Engine 3 is a game that powers Gears of War, game engine that powers Gears of War, Unreal Tournament, Infinity Blade, etc. It's a very high-powered game engine, typically used for the best that console and PC games have to offer. And you're seeing the game being played right now on the PC with Unreal Engine 3.
That's cool. And then the next thing, you've got, show me another one.
You've got PlayStation 3 as well. So these two consoles, well, PlayStation 3 and PC are playing together online. What we're finally able to do now, actually, with the advent of Tegra 2, is I think...
Well, okay, show me the next one.
We're able to bring Tegra 2 into the online game as well. The same content,
that's amazing.
The same game. You're now able to have a console online multiplayer experience in your hand wherever you go. And for game developers, this is really exciting because we don't want people to stop playing our game just because they have to, say, go to work, you know.
So let me see if I can, so let me see if I can understand this. So the same game, these three players are playing in the exact same environment, and I can see them. They're playing the same environment. One is playing on a PC, one's playing on PlayStation 3, and one playing on a Tegra.
That's correct, and what allows us to do that is that the Tegra 2 is sufficiently powerful, sufficiently advanced that it's able to use the same assets, the same code, and the same functionality as the PC and console version. We don't have to scale anything back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
much, Jeremy. That's terrific. Okay, let me kick this up internal here. The next one, I want to show you another game. This is from a really cool developer as well. This is a developer called Mobile Bits. They're developing a 3D title that's going to be published by Chilingo. Chilingo is the famous publisher that brought you Angry Birds, and Chilingo recently has been acquired by Electronic Arts. Mobile Bits also has developed a game engine that is particularly well suited to bring 3D type of experiences to these mobile devices. To help talk about that, let's welcome Karsten Weiss, please. Karsten, welcome.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm not 16 anymore, but I started developing games when I was 16.
Well, let's see. You're developing a 3D title, and this particular 3D title takes advantage of the Tegra graphics processor, the GPU. And tell me about some of the challenges of developing a 3D title that's as rich as what we see in a game console and a PC, but in a mobile environment. What are some of the technical challenges?
Originally, we come from being a normal professional PC and console developer, so we used to use a lot of shaders and polygons and stuff. And about 2 years ago, we decided there's an app world coming, so the mobile world is very interesting. So we switched over there, and all the engineers were a bit disappointed because all the great stuff they were used to do on the PC and on the consoles were no longer possible. And now they're happy again because they have now sufficient power to really create awesome.
And this is your game. And what is the name of this game?
It's called Soulcraft.
Soulcraft.
It's also an action RPG, and you play either a human, an angel, or a demon, and fight for who rules the world after the fight has been
Well, that looks like a high-end computer with GeForce inside. And so this is a game that is completely in 3D. The geometry fidelity is really high, something that you won't see in a smartphone today.
Yeah.
And the ability to light and shadow it.
Yeah, we created the assets especially for this tech demo, and the polygons you see here and the textures are about like 2-3 times the amount of polygons and 4 times the amount of textures you would normally have on like the iPhone and comparable devices.
That's really terrific. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Kirsten, thank you. And so really fast interactivity, multitasking, great web experience, great console game experience, all of that, those type of things, high definition experience, those are the type of things that we expect smartphones to do. You're seeing a collage of the type of apps that are currently running on Tegra 2. There's going to be a whole bunch of them more coming, and it's going to start this whole revolution called the superphone revolution that we're really excited about. Now, building one of these devices is fabulous. But obviously, now that we can process and we can enjoy content, one of the greatest bottlenecks, as you know, is getting content to these devices. And we're really lucky today to have someone who knows a great deal about broadband, who can talk to us about the state of the broadband industry and the vision going forward. Please welcome Kyle Malady from Verizon. As the world leader in broadband deployment, give me a status right now of where is 4G?
Well, clearly we need some in here. But what we're excited about is we're rolling out our LTE 4G network. We've rolled it out, we've deployed it, and this is going to be our coming out party here at CES this year. It's been 3.5 years or more in the works, and really what it's about is trying to up the ante and up the bar. You were going back to glory days in '95. I remember trying to put together a modem bank, and we were getting 9.6 baud out of it, and we were pumped up going over the air.
That's what I got today.
What we're seeing now with 4G LTE, we're promising rates on the download of 5 to 12 megabits a second. But I've been traveling around the country the last few weeks, and I've been continuously getting over 20 megs a second down. And that's a game changer. And for that to be important, though, we need Tegra 2 type products in the devices so you can fully leverage that. The other important thing is the uplink on LTE. That really makes gaming possible, just like some of those games we saw, you can really take it to the next level. And the latency of LTE is 4-fold better. So in our 3G networks today, you have about 130 millisecond round trip time. Now we're going to be down to 30 milliseconds or better.
That's going to be really fabulous for people who are playing multiplayer games, so that they can stay synchronized in the same environment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We really think it's going to bring the user experience up on gaming, video. It's really going to open up video for people mobily, and the internet experience is going to be way better.
So downloading movies or stream movies, so those kind of experiences are going to become normal, common day, everyday experience.
Absolutely. It's going to be a game changer.
What are some of the applications that you guys are showing at this particular CES and where you pay attention to?
Well, I'd like to invite everybody over to our booth in the South Hall. We're going to be showing a ton of devices and applications. A lot of people are talking about LTE and 4G, but we're going to do more to show you what we've done. We've been working with partners like NVIDIA and others over the last 1.5 years, and you're going to see all kinds of great things. One thing you will see is the game we just saw up there. We're going to have people playing the game in our booth. We're going to have people playing the game in NVIDIA's booth. They're going to be using LTE as a transport mechanism. And it looks super.
Really doing that over a 4G network?
Over a 4G, live 4G network. So it's going to be incredible. We're going to have a whole bunch of things you'll see over the coming days, but we're really excited. We're really excited to be partnering with you guys. You guys do a great job really helping ecosystem with your processors, but also working with developers and bringing content. And, we look forward to a great future together.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Kyle. Thanks for coming. Well, it's great. As a processor company, we have the ability to process through and crank through a great deal of content. It's great to have a partner like Verizon who has the vision to bring the broadband deploy broadband to the world so that we can have the content deployed to us. One of the most exciting applications for broadband is something that has been talked about in science fiction for a long time that frankly we haven't been able to do. And today, for the first time, we're going to show you this experience on a tablet. I'm going to show you this experience on an Android operating system. Please welcome virtually Manrique Brenes, who is the Director of Platform Product Management at Skype. Skype, as you know, is, if you were to think of them as a network, a virtual network, they are one of the largest in the world. There are, I think, something well over 100 million active users of Skype. My family is a very active user of Skype, and our company is an active user of Skype. To show you what is possible now with, what? Okay, so this is exactly what happens to a first, this is when I jinx it with first of its kind. Never before seen experience. You can guarantee you will still not see it. The way that we rehearsed it, I'm supposed to just reach out here and pull out a tablet. And then Manrique and I are going to communicate over the 1 kilobit per second that you guys have left over for us. And apparently that is just not going to happen. And Manrique, come on. We'll do it live. So, you know, if video conferencing doesn't work, I guess you have to go and touch the hand. You got to go touch the flesh. You got to do it the good old-fashioned way.
Just imagine. But we're very happy with the development so far. It's a shame that the bandwidth is really not letting us do what we wanted. But we're excited to be in Tegra. We're excited to be on an Android platform doing video, great HD video, and we're looking forward to.
Now, the thing that we wish we could have shown you was actually HD video chatting over Skype on a tablet, right? And so that was the experience we were hoping to show you, but because we don't have any bandwidth left over, the thing that we can assure yourself, United Airlines is particularly excited about this development, right?
Yes,
as a result of that, air travel will continue. Well, maybe Rico, let's do this another time.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Okay. Well, let me quickly do this part. We have a really big announcement that we'd like to make. Unfortunately, we had so much stuff to go through today that we didn't have enough time. But we've shown you the smallest device that NVIDIA has ever made. NVIDIA is a processor company, and our processors are used in a range of devices that range now from superphones all the way up to supercomputers. Our GPUs are used in the world's fastest supercomputers. They're used in the most powerful and the craziest and wildest game machines. They're used in high-end laptops to deliver the best experiences. They're used in game consoles like the PlayStation 3. And of course now we're talking about superphones and tablets. These particular platforms all share one thing in common, which is a great user experience. The interactivity, the high-definition experience is really important to us. The architecture that we use across the board changes and ranges from x86 for the computing platform all the way to ARM in mobile devices. Now, one of the things that we're seeing now, because of the pervasiveness and the openness of ARM, and because there are so many content developers around the world who are now focused on this mobile computing revolution, the energy around the ARM architecture is absolutely enormous. The fact of the matter is, if you're a software developer and you're not working on ARM, you've got your head in the sand somewhere. And I think that that's to be a fair statement today. And the reason for that is because software developers want to go towards the fastest growing and the largest markets. Installed base matters, TAM matters to them. And so it stands to reason that the ARM processor is becoming more and more important. If you take a look at the annual shipments of the projected annual shipments of ARM versus the x86, the two what we consider to be industry standard processors in the world today. Over the next 5 years, over the next several years, even less than 5 years, there will be more ARM processors shipped than all of x86 processors ever shipped. There is no question now that in just 2 or 3 years' time, and that's the reason why I say large companies simply didn't see this coming. In just 2 or 3 years' time, overnight practically in technology time, it became evident that the ARM processor is now the world's most important ISA and the new open and the new standard microprocessor architecture. And that leads me to my next announcement. Now, of course, this particular architecture has the world's most exciting operating systems supporting it already, iOS and RIM and Android. The only thing that's really holding it back is, what about Windows? Now, I'm not here to announce Windows. However, I found this on the web. So, it's all fair game. And it said Microsoft said to be unveiling Windows for ARM chips, and I need to wrap this up so we can go find out. They're I'm shortly due to go to a Microsoft press conference, and I wonder if they're going to be talking about something like this, which brings me to my next announcement. And this is one of the most strategic announcements, one of the most important announcements that we have ever made at NVIDIA. We've been working for some time on a processor, and the processor is called Project Denver. The rumors of Project Denver in our industry has been swirling for some time. Are they building a new GPU? Are they building an x86 processor? Are they building, I don't know, a spaceship? NVIDIA's projects are always highly scrutinized because everybody wants to know what we're building next. Well, we're building, as it turns out, a full custom processor designed at NVIDIA with partnership with ARM that is based on ARM. This is NVIDIA's first CPU development with veterans from all over the industry who have built x86s and Sparks and MIPS and PowerPCs. And this great team has come together to build the world's first ARM processor that is targeted at high-performance computing. Whereas ARM is going to continue to and will continue to license ARM processors that are for mobile computing, what we wanted to do was to expand the reach of this architecture. We felt that with all of the momentum and all the energy around ARM from developers, the one thing they wish they had is if they could leverage that development environment and that resource and that investment to beyond mobile computing, to servers, to PCs, to supercomputers, to cloud computing. Wouldn't that be fabulous? The same tools, the same software development environment, the same engineers, the same compilers. Wouldn't that be fabulous? And so we decided to partner with ARM to build that world's first. I think that this is a game changer. This is certainly a game changer for us. And now with Apple, Google, and rumors of Microsoft supporting the ARM processor, which makes perfect sense. I mean, if you were an operating system company, why wouldn't you support the world's largest installed base of processors? Why isn't that the most important thing to do? So it stands to reason that all of these operating systems will be supporting ARM. What we want to do is apply our DNA and our expertise and our R&D capability to expand the reach of ARM beyond mobile into every range of computing, from supercomputers all the way down to superphones. And so that's it. I think that this is a vitally important CES. And I hope that at the end of the week, as you think back about what we talked about today, that you'll realize that this is the beginning of a new era. That this year, the personal computing industry is redefined. The industry is redefined. New players, new positions. And the way we enjoy computers, personal computing for users, will be redefined. I want to thank all of you for being here today. Congratulations to LG and their launch, and have a great CES.